Hey, hello everybody. Thanks for hopping on to sorry, let me change the view. There we go. To our team call. So once upon a time, I did regular team training and inspiration calls and absolutely loved them. I loved seeing everybody each week, and we discussed some really wonderful topics, and I enjoyed it a lot. So I'm excited to be bringing it back, and hopefully these will gain more steam, and we'll have a lot of really wonderful contributions and ideas coming out of these, because spending time kind of thinking through things with you and brainstorming with you and learning from you guys, like that's one of my favorite things about this business anyway, because none of us can do this alone, right? So tonight, to kind of kick off our first call in a while, we're going to start with a leader spotlight, Erica Strasser. She's going to share, which I will kind of allow her to share with you, how she has come to, like, just in the last few weeks, has had 5 new level 1s and a new level 2. So not only great personal recruitment, but also, starting some duplication efforts on her team, which are really wonderful. And so I'm going to have her share a little bit about how that's looking. And then we'll go into a really short training, something I've been wanting to touch on for a while. And so we'll just do a few minutes, maybe 5-10 minutes, discussing presenting the business opportunity and what a conversation like that can look like with somebody, and some tips for navigating that conversation. And then we're going to close out with kind of a reflection and journaling question that I also need to just reflect on. And I have a whole bunch of them that I have noted, and I just kind of want to work through with our team and just kind of take some time to reflect and walk into the rest of the week with some perspective on how we might be able to grow in our business, in our mindset, in our productivity, in our anything, right? So that's kind of how tonight's going to go. But to start it off, I just wanted Erica to sort of go over what's kind of working right now, and when it comes to personal recruitment, and what that has looked like to have so many wonderful personal recruits just in the last few weeks. What does that look like, and what have you found has been going well for you in that?
Actually, most of these personal recruitments have come from previous interactions, um, that I have reached out to them about Plexus long in the past, and they were not ready at the time, or maybe they tried it for a short time and stopped. And for example, one of them I actually cleared out of my back office last month, and then they were ready to re-sign up. But I would say, well, probably all but one of them were people that I've discussed Plexus with long in the past and had either basically stopped talking about Plexus, um, or had been very infrequent about Plexus, but had maintained a good relationship with them. And upon offering a couple of, so like their sale on the reset was a big one. And now this kind of sampling opportunity to try Slim, those things were like the hooks to get them to jump back in, which I was really pleased, because situations like that are so encouraging that the work that I'm doing every single day, which we have all said now numerous times, right? Like the work that I'm doing, just a simple post is better than nothing. Like if I can get a post out and can maintain engagements over time, that will pay dividends in the future. And that came to fruition just recently.
I mean, that's such a good reminder to not give up on people also, and like some people just aren't ready, or they are turning their focus to something else because if they stopped or started and stopped or whatever, right? And sometimes, I was going to say when it rains it pours, but I mean that in a positive way. Like sometimes all the work that you've been doing kind of comes to fruition at the same time because it's the right season for it. You're ready for it. You're doing the work, maybe even ramping up that work in a certain season. And so reigniting all those connections, sending all those invites, offering all those samples, whatever. And finally, all those people that you've been engaging with and talking to, and they've been seeing your posts and all that, they all just kind of come pouring in, but it's the consistency that makes the difference. That's where that
And
consistency.
some months it's me reaching out, but this month, just the past few weeks, it has almost all been that, which is so nice to have that every once in a while. You know, it really does ebb and flow in that way.
Absolutely. And for anyone watching this, I did not say that Erica is a senior gold ambassador. So she's done really well with her personal recruitment and has built a really nice sized team, which is wonderful. And I feel like even I watch her recruitment and she's gotten very good at recruitment. Like you have a well-oiled machine over there. So if you need to learn about
Thank you.
recruitment, Erica's a great person to ask.
Thank you.
But you're welcome. And what was really exciting, and I think we were all very excited about it, is that to have her team welcome a new level 2, and it happened to be her level 1's spouse. And I wanted her to share the mindset behind people adding just one person, referring one person, and maybe what the conversation might have looked like in helping someone invite their spouse to do this with them. Like, because that before you get into it, imagine if every single person that you enrolled referred one person. That'd be insane growth on your team, right? So adopting that kind of mindset, I just kind of wanted Erica to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so I've been talking with Allie and Becca about this kind of shift in my mindset now for a couple months, basically since Allie's birthday, which is in March. And I was getting a little bit frustrated, I guess you could say, on the refer 3 and having very little success in my personal level 1s referring 3 people and becoming silvers and all the excitement that comes with that. So I just was like, this is not working. This is obviously not working for my team. I need to make a change. And I decided then, in early March, I would say, I kind of had this revelation and then shared it with them. I'm going to super focus on everybody just referring one and stop panicking so much about 3 referrals and really just going for just one person so that they could feel success of what it is like to refer just one person. And so one of my L1s is actually one of my other L1 spouse. He just didn't want to refer her under him. And then I also had another spouse referral. So that's the L2. And then the month before was a spouse referral. And then the month before, it is finally starting to happen. And that has been really encouraging to see. How about asking your spouse if he or she wants to do this with you, or your best friend or your mom or whatever? But it seems to most often be a spouse is the most common referral so that they can do it together. And so far, of my most recent referrals, I would say about half of them have now referred their spouse. And that's
awesome. That is huge.
Super exciting. One of them just never clicked on the button to then become an ambassador, so it doesn't count as an L2, but super annoying. But that's what I'm and then one of them purposefully didn't want to enroll under himself, so I got 2, which is great. That's fine. But that shift in my mindset, I think, has played out in my business because I'm more confident in asking. I'm more confident in asking again. I'm more confident in encouraging and kind of pushing that conversation along just a little bit more than I maybe was with trying to encourage people to refer 3. I think it's a little bit more overwhelming for me and my L1s to go straight for 3 and or have an event right away. So if they know that they can refer 1 and are successful in referring 1, I'm now looking to the next step of hey, wasn't that so great? How about I host an event for you? And hey, if only 2 more people sign up, you guys could earn, and kind of make it together, you could earn so much money. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm kind of shifting how I offer that to my L1s, and I'm excited about it. I think it's going well so far.
Yeah, absolutely. That was sort of my next question was going to be what out of the last month or so do you feel like you're learning to do better in your business, or what are you learning about your business kind of in this season, right? What do you feel like is a takeaway of the last month?
I kind of said it in book club.
I know.
And so I'll say it again here so that it can be on this recording, I guess. I have decided basically since convention, to not panic about not panic. I'm not panicking. That's like a little bit of a strong word. To not make my focus whatever Plexus incentives are for that month. And or whatever big incentive is happening, like for example, the leaders retreat contest currently. I I can't focus on that. I can't. If I'm focusing on that, I lose focus of something that's super important in terms of growing my business to be more sustainable. If I'm mostly focused on personal recruitments and not pouring into those people, then if I'm just searching for the recruitments, it's not going to provide me a sustainable um, business long term. I need to be able to not be the only person recruiting on my team. So I'm trying to spend a lot more time with each one of my personal recruitments. And I feel like that's allowed then just that one sponsorship to happen more naturally. And it's more of a natural progression. Like, of course you would want to have your spouse do this with you. This is a big health change potentially for you and your family. Like, don't you want your spouse to have this exciting health change too? Um, you know, why not? Gut health is never a bad thing, right?
Oh,
So
yeah,
so
absolutely.
that's I mean, that's kind of become my like mantra. Don't you want this for them too? And that's made it a lot easier. And then if I earn whatever incentive is for that month, super exciting. I mean, I always want to refer at least 3 people. That's, I think, a sustainable way to consider this business model. But if I don't get it, but instead I have 3 level 1s each refer 2 people or something, like, isn't that even better? So I have to like la 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 with the whatever Plexus is offering me that month that is super shiny and fun that I definitely want in my cupboard or in my closet, and like, don't even look at it. Do I want a Plexus crossbody? No, I already have one. But like, do I want the Plexus crossbody? Because I think I do. Like, it's so dumb. I don't. So to not
Absolutely.
worry about that so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like we can get caught up in the enrollment mentality because we all want like the shiny things. And it's like, that's
Well, and
great.
that's how we're recognized on our
Yeah.
teams too. We get a
Right.
shout out and all of these things, and it feels good, and it feels like I'm accomplishing something. Whereas it's a little bit more of a quick accomplishment versus pouring into someone and helping them build a team is really a long-term process, and it's slow, and it's not a lot of recognition because there aren't a ton of milestones. There are little steps that lead to big milestones that are hard to recognize when you're in it.
Absolutely. But putting on that cap of like, this is the activity that's going to create the long-term foundation of my business. That is the key that I think you and we all are trying to kind of learn together, right? That the shiny things are fun, but finding ways that you can naturally help duplication happen more consistently on your team is huge.
Yeah.
And man, I think your trajectory is already fantastic, but imagine if like you just get super, super good at that conversation, then everybody is like referring one, and it seems like you're starting that. Like, it seems like you're like, all right, this is working and I'm getting really good at this. And this is starting to really happen in the way that you intended it to,
Yeah. And
Feels
if you can
exciting,
refer
they don't.
one, you can refer two. You know what I mean? So it's
Exactly.
like to give them one morsel of success is much better as a much better mindset for me and for them, I think. And so I love that Plexus encourages people to refer 3 so that they can become silver and earn those bonuses and stuff. I didn't find like that was particularly sustainable for me at this time. And so instead of doing nothing, I know I can do this.
Yeah.
And
I love that.
so I'm going to do this because this is working. And I will continue to, modify to eventually be able to do that. I'm confident that I can in the future. But for now, this is better than what I was doing before, which was no duplication
Yeah,
at all.
absolutely. That's what I'm like. I was so excited to see. And then I feel like you were feeling good about it. And it was actually like, okay, now this is working. Like it went from like a thought, like this isn't working, I need to change, to what if I started doing this? Okay, I'm going to start doing this. And like, look, it's actually working. Like it was
It's
like a
actually
whole,
working.
it's actually working.
Hallelujah.
It's really
Yeah.
working. So super exciting.
Nikki was asking me to share a little bit about
Oh yes. The
like a phone call. So just to
rolling over the
share just
phone.
a smidge, I have been trying to do that more than I was before. Enrolling people over the phone or having a phone call with them right before they enroll or right after they enroll or maybe right when they get their products. I have found that of the people that I have phone calls with, all of them are still my customers. Oh, that's a lie. All except for one, but that was a whole situation. That is much better. That personal relationship piece, and it's really talking about all of the things that someone was talking about recently. Oh, it was on the diamonds in December. Not diamonds in December. Whatever the recent diamond jewel chaining thing was that was like a month long. Not the
Mhm.
most recent one, but the one a couple months ago that was like, tell them what to expect, that this is a 90-day thing and you better have the finances to at least commit to 90 days. Do you have, you know, I don't know, $300 in the bank that you can pay, $400 in the bank that you can pay for the next 3 months of your product so that you can really see what it's like? Are you willing to commit for the long haul, what to expect, and go through all of that right away instead of it just being like a one and done 30 days? It didn't work for me. And then I'm disappointed. They're disappointed. Now they don't like Plexus, to like really say up front, are you really into this? Okay, then let's do it. And that has been super helpful. Who was that training? That was a great
I know what
training.
you're talking
They
about now.
like,
That was the retention. It was like the
thank
retention.
you.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
They had
Yes,
like the
whatever.
blue, it was like a blue graphic, right?
Yes.
They were blue. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so whatever that retention series one was really encouraging to like, I don't have to sugarcoat this at all. In fact, if I don't, it's going to be a much better result than if I pretend that it's going to be super hunky-dory and it's going to totally change their lives right away. So that has been really encouraging and I think has been really fruitful in the long haul for these recent enrollments. I would say my more recent enrollments have now stuck with it month after month versus previous enrollments, say like a year ago.
That's great. Do you mention at all on those phone calls, like that referral conversation, or do you kind of like do that when they love their product or during
I
enrollment?
do try to tell them like, is there one person that you can do this with? Because this is I mean, of course I'm here with you, but it would be really great if you could have someone with you who's actually physically nearby, a coworker, mom or dad, brother, sister, spouse, especially, or a kid, like if you have an adult kid, or yeah, that would be even better. And most of them can say at least one person. And so then I know that person that they're thinking of. So I can like keep bringing it up. Hey, we talked about your boyfriend. Like, now that you've tried it for 30 days and you absolutely love it, like, what do you think about having your boyfriend jump on? And it's a lot easier conversation instead of like jumping in 30 days later. Like, now that you love it, who do you want to do this with? It doesn't feel as like a trick, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
The bait and
it's
switch
from the get-go.
feeling. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I try to
Yeah.
avoid that as well.
Yeah.
Like just kind of like sprinkle it in throughout the process, right? But it's good, like you mentioned, knowing who that person might be for them. Even if they're like
Yeah.
not ready to refer that person right away. Sometimes they are. Sometimes they're like, yeah, but a lot of times they're not. But knowing like, hey, yeah, you mentioned your mom has digestive problems, do you think that she would be
Right.
interested in this or whatever? So
Right.
that's great.
Yeah.
I love that.
And it makes me feel better too. It makes me feel like I'm not, of course, I want to build my business by having business builders, but I want to do that in a way that doesn't ruin my relationship with these people. So it's not a surprise when I ask about so-and-so that they mentioned when they enrolled, it's not a surprise.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I know that I have only had like a handful of enrollment phone calls in my entire Plexus business, but I do agree that if we can do that more often, sometimes even just that personal connection and conversation fuels a more successful customer, I think. Because you have that just a more thorough conversation from the get-go, right? And they hear
Yeah,
you.
it's only like 30 minutes. It doesn't have to take your whole evening. I usually
Right.
do it after the kids go to bed, but sometimes I'm like in the car, or at the grocery store. Grocery store full times,
Right.
like whatever works for them. But I think it's worth it. If I were to restructure my entire business, I would make sure I did it for every single enrollment.
Would you say, yeah, during enroll, I was going to say like to enroll
hmm
them over the phone, would you also
hmm
have like a chat about like call me when you get your products or whatever?
Yeah, I would prefer that too. Or I mean, at the moment, anything would be better than nothing.
Right.
But yeah, I think even a phone call like 3 months in would be really great. But I think either as soon as they get their products, if like they're enrolling while you're on vacation or
Mhm.
something, which seems to always happen,
Yeah.
or
Reach
while
out
I'm
to
driving
travel.
over the pass, it's
Yeah.
always while I'm driving over the pass.
Mhm.
I think would be really great. As soon as you get your products, or hey, as soon as you get your products, let's set up a time today or tomorrow to chat on the phone.
Absolutely. And
Or are
even if
you
that's
available right
like,
now?
yeah, even if that's just like chatting through like how to take them, which we have, we know how to take them, right? You could just say all the things we have like on the team page, right? Just walk through how to take them, some tips for success, any detox, and like mention the referral situation, right? And it could be super simple, but at least they feel like you took the time to set them up for success with all those tips and things.
You
I
learn
think
a lot more about what's going on with them too.
yes,
I
they open up
found.
more because they're having an actual conversation with a person. And Ruby said since she's just started, all of her enrollments have been in person or over Zoom.
Get it.
That is
Nice.
awesome. Keep that up. Way to go, Ruby, because
I
that
would
personal
stay with
connection,
that.
stick with
Do
it.
not lose that.
Sure. Do not lose it. Do not lose it. That is
Yeah.
amazing. I'm so glad that you're doing it. Like that was great to share. Well, I planned on transitioning this into
Sorry.
some tips for like having an opportunity conversation. I don't want to make this too long, but I've had at least a handful of people ask or message me about what do I say when I present the business, or what do I do if they're interested, or what resources do you send them? What does that conversation look like? And the thing is, I have had the, what does the Plexus business opportunity conversation look like? Like I've had that conversation with a lot of people over the years, and a lot of the times it kind of looks differently because the person is looking for something different in the opportunity. So I've tried to narrow down a way to make a system out of this, right? So we don't all feel like we don't know what we're doing, but also give everybody some sort of framework of like, this is how you can approach that type of conversation. And first, I know it's hard to present the opportunity to people, but remembering that we are leaders of a sales organization, right? And we are seeking leaders who are interested in also being successful running their own sales organization, right? So that's like kind of a mindset shift to make, right? Like we all love Plexus and know what it can do for people, and that's the power of our products and our company, and that's why our structure is so wonderful and our compensation is so lucrative. It's because we have products that really work and change people's lives, right? But what it boils down to, you are recruiting salespeople, right? So we want to find leaders who are interested in that. So we need to remember that there are people out there that want this and are interested in being able to leverage their time better so that they can have a little more flexibility in their earning, right? Like they can either decide when they want to do the work, right? Or put in a ton of work right now so that later they can relax a little more and have some money coming in that's a little more passive, right? Depending on what they want that to look like in their life. And that's going to be different for every single person. So sometimes the way that you phrase it to somebody might be different, right? But remembering that if we never ask people, like the answer is always no. The answer is always no if you never take the time to ask them. And so asking people if they're interested in either having a more flexible earning opportunity or leveraging their time better or just making some extra money this summer, there's nothing wrong with that. And it's actually wonderful to get that conversation started, because even if they're like, I don't think that's really for me, sometimes they've been watching you post about the products and they're interested in the products. And now you've already planted the seed of the opportunity from the very start. Even if they end up moving on to the products later on, then you can kind of transition that conversation back to like, remember when I mentioned that, like, would you want to refer or whatever, right? Like you've already kind of dropped a seed there. So it's always, I love to actually lead that way. Even if that's the beginning of the dance of the conversation. I always just like to connect with them, engage with them, get to know their life and how this opportunity might benefit them, but reach out to them, letting them know some things I admire about them. These are reasons why I think you could be really successful at what I do. I've seen you post about XYZ, and you have such a huge audience who is engaging with your content. You're clearly very influential in your community. You are someone who's very respected, or you're very positive, or you're very confident, you're very knowledgeable, whatever. Give them a genuine, compliment, but also credit them for why they would be really good at this. And you can let them know you are looking to partner with whatever group of people. Oftentimes I'm like, I am partnering with other women or other moms who want to, whatever. This is part of your mission statement, right? I'm looking to partner with blank other, let's say moms who want to earn some extra income for their families this summer, or who want a flexible earning opportunity, or who want to provide a little bit of financial margin for their family over the next several months, or a flexible earning opportunity or whatever. I've used a lot of those phrases, but it's all going to come down with like who your target market is, right? So it's hard to like totally make that a system because everybody's message is going to be different. But I always have engaged with them. I know who they are. I know about their life. Like I know their demographic, all that. And then I will message them with some kind of genuine message about what I see in them, what I admire about them, what I respect in them, and why I think that would work so well in our business. And so that I'm looking to partner with people just like you. Confident women, energetic moms who are, seeking to earn some extra income for their families or whatever, right? So you can kind of fill in the blank there. But I'm like, I am wanting to partner with people just like you. And I don't spill the whole beans right there, but I'm basically like, I think that you could excel really greatly at this. What are your thoughts on learning more about the Plexus business opportunity? Or what are your thoughts on learning more about earning income with Plexus? Or, however you want to phrase that. But I'm always like, what are your thoughts? Not like, do you want more info? Or, I'm going to send you a video right now. Like, I don't do that. I'm just kind of like, what are your thoughts? And usually when they say, sometimes they'll say yes, sometimes they'll say no, whatever. We're going to pretend in a perfect world, everyone's like, yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Send me info. When they send me some kind of yes to my message, I don't just jump into giving them information. I usually want to ask questions to further understand like what the benefits are that they're really looking for. Right. So I'm usually like, I'd love to share more with you. I'm so happy that you're interested because I think this could be really beneficial for you. Sometimes I'm like, I'm not sure how familiar you are with Plexus, but we're a holistic wellness company. And I'll just give a little blurb that's like, we have a referral-based social selling program with unlimited earning potential. So that's going to depend on how much you would like to work. And basically just make sure that I provide them the resources that are most relevant for them. So I just give them a little blurb about, our referral-based social selling program with unlimited earning potential that will depend on how much you would like to work on it. But I want to be sure that I provide you with the best resources to learn more. And everyone has their own goals for their family, their finances, their careers. Sometimes I'll say like, some people want to earn more money. Some people want time flexibility. Some people really want to be a part of a community, and that can also make a difference. Tell me a little bit more about what you would want, right? Are you looking for time flexibility? Are you looking for an extra $500 this summer to pay for summer activities? Are you looking for an ongoing opportunity to replace some income in your family, right? What benefits do you think would make something like this worth learning how to do? That's something that I usually ask first before I'm throwing any information at them. You know, what benefits would you want, or what the phrase of what would make this worth you learning how to do, that sentence can be really great because it kind of signals like, this is something you're going to learn how to do, right? It's not something you're going to like post one time and 70 people are going to run an order from your.
Can you say that again?
Yeah. So I usually say, what benefits do you think would make something like this worth learning for you? And it's usually like, it usually comes after me saying like, I'd love to share more information with you. I'm not sure how familiar you are with Plexus, but we're a holistic wellness company with a referral-based social selling program. We have unlimited earning potential that'll depend on how much you're willing to work. But everyone has different goals for their finances and their family. Some people want extra money for the summer. Some people want time flexibility, or to be able to earn money in their spare time, nuggets of time throughout the day. Some people really want to make this a long-term thing and replace some long-term income for their family. So what
are you typing this?
Yeah.
Or are you like voice messaging it?
I've done both. So I kind of, just for this Zoom call right now, I kind of copy and pasted some stuff over to a note just so I could have it fresh for you, but I've actually done both. So I find that
could you put this in the chat for us?
Yeah, yes, I will.
Thank you.
I have it like in a really rough Word
Becca and
doc.
I are like,
I can clean it up. I'll clean it up, but it's kind of like in a rough
Okay,
like
thank
copy
you.
and paste document. But I can send it to you guys. What I need to do is like make it into an official document. But I was like trying to piece together, because like people had been asking me, what does this look like? What do people say? What do you say when people say yes? And I'm like, well, don't just like throw them a video.
That wording,
Yeah.
I have never seen that wording
Okay.
on people's stuff. That
Yeah.
we are a holistic wellness company with a referral-based social selling program with unlimited earning potential based on how much you're willing
Yeah.
to work, or
Yeah.
whatever you said, something around that. That nuanced piece, I actually think is quite interesting. I would like to see that, as well as kind of those questions of like, what benefits would make something like this worth it, worth learning for you, so that you know exactly what information to send them. Because I feel like some of the information out there is like, this isn't what they want to know.
Exactly. And sometimes
care
they're like,
about the me
I would
plus
love
3
$500.
like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So that's super helpful.
Yeah, good. I'm glad,
yes,
because
please.
I feel like that is a key piece of this process that either we aren't doing, or we don't think to do, or we just are like so trigger happy with like, somebody wants to know about Plexus, and we like send them a video and we're like, wait, do they even want that? Like, is that even something they're going to watch? And so, yeah. And so I kind of let them answer. And a lot of times, if you have your demographic kind of nailed down, a lot of people are like, I would love to just like make a little extra for my family this summer. You know, it's can be a lot of that. Or some people are like, man, I would love to make this into some full-time income. Like I have a lot of free time now because my kids just went to school or whatever. Like I have some of those people in my network, and I'm like, awesome, I can show you how to do that. And I usually just, whatever they share, I'm like, thank you for sharing that with me. You know, I was also looking for, or I also found that this brought me XYZ that you can relate to them, right? I also was able to use this as a flexible opportunity to earn income whenever I wanted to work. Or I also found that, you know, in X 90 days, I could make an extra $500, you know, like you can put some things on it that are part of your personal experience, or a friend's experience, whatever, if you're brand new, right? And just kind of relating to that, like I have seen that to be true, like, or I've seen, you know, this be a possibility. And you could even say like, I was pleasantly surprised that the process is very simple. You can touch on your personal experience with the business or the products, right? That this is something that you've seen works, because we all know the process of working this business is very simple. Like there's only a few things to do, right? It's doing them consistently over time that makes the big difference. And so when someone is interested and first starting and is like, I really just want this to be something flexible or something or an extra $500 or I want it to be full-time income. Great. Like it can absolutely be that for you. Thank you for sharing that with me. I have found this and I'm working towards this or whatever, like insert your personal experience, whatever that is. And you can, sometimes I mention like, I was really pleasantly surprised at how much I loved this. And sometimes I'll mention the community and I'll just say, I have grown to really love the community that I'm a part of. It's so uplifting and fulfilling. You get to really help people while earning income for our family and really feeling like you're making a difference. And so I kind of just like to add those things in. But then after all that, right, like you have some buy-in, I'm like, I would love to send you something to just review and get your thoughts. What would you prefer that I send you? Would you watch a short video? Do you want some bullet points to read? Or would you like to chat in person or over the phone? I mean, if in person's not possible, then whatever, don't include that. But it's like, you've already heard, like they know a little bit about what we do. They have kind of told you what would be beneficial to them. And then you relate to that, right? Like I've also noticed that this is so flexible. I love that I can work it during nap time or whatever you do. Or, whatever it's pertaining to, relate to it. And then I'd love to send you something that you can review just to get your thoughts. What would you prefer that I send you? Would a short video work? Maybe some information to read with some, top level bullet points, or would you like to chat in person or over the phone? And that's kind of the next thing. So I haven't even really sent them anything, right? So I'll next kind of either talk to them on the phone or find them whatever resource is necessary. If they're wanting a video, that income and impact one is really good. So is the side hustle economy. What's it called? It was the Rebecca Folks one that was brand new, or not brand new. It was more recent. And I found it on her YouTube channel and I was like, this is amazing. Like it's very well done. I just put it on the Be Healthy, Be Plexus page, Side Hustle Economy, I think it's called. That's a really good one also. And so that's one where you can, usually if I'm sending them a video, I'm like, this is 25 minutes long or whatever. When do you think that you can watch this, and let me know your thoughts, or when should I, circle back with you? Like if I circle back with you tomorrow morning, will you have time to watch this and let me know your thoughts? And I usually try to give a deadline to it. If you're not like talking on the phone or whatever. Now I will say when I want to send them something that's like, they want something to read or bullet points or something. So the most recent few times that I've done this, I've asked them, would it be helpful for you if I could map out how to make, X number of dollars in the next 2 months, or $500 in 90 days or $300 next month or whatever. And I basically just like write that out. I got to go find it if somebody wants it. Like I kind of have winged it the last couple times, but it's like, going through Fast Start Silver or like close to Senior Silver, like Fast Start Senior Silver, you can kind of map that out because 90 days, basically month 1 is their enrollment month, right? And then their next month is actually month 1 in the eyes of Fast Start. Does that make sense? And then their next month is actually month 2 in the eyes of Fast Start. So if they join on the first day of this month, that whole month is their enrollment month. Month 1 is until the next month, and month 2 is until the next month. It's like full calendar months, if that makes sense. I'm probably butchering this, but basically they have that whole 3-month span of time to go Senior Silver. So they can make like a ton of money. So you could basically be like, you can make whatever it is. I got to look. It's like over $800 or something to go if you went Fast Start Senior Silver in the next 90 days. So usually I'm like, would it be helpful for me to map out to show you how simple it would be for you to make X number of dollars in the next 90 days? So instead of spilling out the entire compensation plan, here's a dollar amount that could be helpful for you in the next 90 days. Would you like me to show you how to do that? And they're like, okay. And then I just was like, great, I help you share. And, then it's like next steps, right? About like sharing or having an event, or this is what we do. And I walk you through, posting and, seeing if your friends are interested or your family is interested, and I'll help them sign up under you and 9 people. And there you go. So then I kind of like have that conversation and basically ask them, is this something that you are interested in like giving a try, or does this sound like something that you would like to do, or does Plexus sound like a company that you would want to partner with if they're thinking like really long term? And honestly, after that, I go straight into the product conversation. I'm like, great. Well, very first, we need to get you a referral link, and we need to get you having your own product experience so that you have something to speak to. So then I go into, like the health goals conversation, all that. So the business opportunity conversation is not super long. It's not incredibly in depth. I'm not going into every single thing about the compensation plan unless they want it. It's really, are you open to the opportunity? Okay, what about the opportunity would be helpful for you? And now that I know that, great, thank you. I also experienced that as well. I'm so excited that you want to do this because I found that to be true, and then asking them what sort of resource they would want to look over, getting that to them. And if they're like, sounds great, I'm like, awesome. Step one is for you to have a product experience so that you have a referral link and you can speak to that. So we start choosing products. I know that's a very
of the people that you've done this with.
Yeah.
How many people are pursuing a business in Plexus beyond silver currently in your business?
So probably, I started doing this earlier in the year. I would say 2 or 3 at least, like kept going with it. I have people who enrolled who haven't gone silver yet.
And how many of your business builders would you say that have been happy product users then that you like circle back?
Yeah.
So do you feel like, so I know Plexus is like super pushing this business forward, business forward. Do you truly feel like this is the way to go?
I know
I'm putting you on the spot here.
No, this is good to think through, because some people will be turned off by that conversation, right? Some people will be like, no, thank you to the business, but I'm interested in the products, which I have had a lot. It's more like when someone is interested in the business, what do you do? Right? So that's more like the purpose of this is like, if someone is like, tell me more, like a lot of people don't know what to do. But I have found that, I have to go look at my messages, but like several people that I ask about the opportunity, they are like, no, but I've seen you post about the products. Like I've had that happen a lot. And then I also have probably 5 to 10 people since the beginning of the year who have been like, tell me more. And out of those, I can think of 4 or 5 of them that ended up enrolling. And then a couple of them that are like, we had an event and they assigned 2 people or something, right? Like we're still kind of like getting it going. So yeah, it's like, it's such a hard question when everybody's different, but I think it also works both ways. Like if you're thinking of just developing or having duplication happen on your team or developing leaders, that can absolutely happen on the back end as well, right? You can be a product lovers that become fantastic brand ambassadors. I think that product lovers are like some of the best brand ambassadors because they spend a really long time getting to know and love the products. But I
guess that's kind of my question. Like, do you find more success digging for gold in your back office in terms of developing business builders that are seeking it for more than just like a couple of enrollments and a few $100? Like, totally. I think I'd like to do this either for a side gig or for an actual business. And I know this process is new. The winning day is
fairly new. Yeah.
How long have we been doing it?
Probably since like last year. Yeah.
I don't know. I love this conversation because either you lead with it or you can follow with it.
Or when someone's interested, okay, like what about
it doesn't have to, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be the very first touch point that, beyond engaging.
Yeah.
That you need to have with people.
Yeah. And without like taking an entire like hard data look at every message I've sent, I would say that it's like a both and, right? Like you can lead with a business ask and fall back to the products. Absolutely. or you can lead with a business ask and have people say yes to the business, or you can also present the opportunity once they're on their products or once they order or during enrollment or whatever. Like, I think all of the above are successful. So I wouldn't say like one works and one doesn't. It's more like, if you're going to do this, like, here's a way to do that when someone's interested, but I have actually been trying to make it a point to like see how this works, right? Like, if I lead with an opportunity conversation, like, what is the result of that? And just like we all, might send a lot of reach out messages about the products. Like, many of them go unresponded, or they're no thank yous or whatever, right? It's kind of the same thing. But I have definitely had people say, yes, I am interested. Like, send me more information. I walk them through this whole thing, and then they sign up, and I've had them like start sharing or post or whatever. And I've had a couple people like gone silver or passed. And then, like, off the top of my head, I'm trying to think, like, since like January, but, and then I have a couple people who haven't gone silver yet. So, which not everybody thrives, right? You're like, I'm doing my best. And it's like hard to, be like, what piece of this is the thing that needs to be improved beyond like the person that you're enrolling, right? It's like, that's the whole conversation where I think Nikki wasn't on book club, or yeah, Becca wasn't either, but we were talking all about attracting leaders. Like, you're looking for leaders, not just like anybody who's interested, which is kind of a different mindset. Is anyone gonna enroll? Like, sometimes it's just, we're like, hello, if you're interested, come order. And really, I'm just like, man, maybe it's the caliber of person that I'm approaching, I don't know. So it's kind of some self-reflection, but I will say that, like, it has worked sometimes, just as asking on the back end has worked sometimes. I don't know. So that's not a clear-cut answer at all, but I have done this. And it's good to just, I think what makes the conversation about the opportunity successful is understanding what they want out of it. Like, I think that's the point, is before we just throw a resource at someone and be like, hey, do you like this? Do you want it? Do you want to buy it? Like, before we do that, be like, like, relate to them and like, what do you want out of this? Does this seem like it's a value to you? That part of it I think is really important. But oh my gosh, Nikki, this is our banter. Everyone is overhearing this is me just, losing it now. But anyway, I will get some of those like really good like catchphrases consolidated, because I was going through all my stuff, because Nikki asked me a question the other day. She sent me a screenshot. She was like, what do I send next? And I'm like, I got to look at what I've been sending to people, that's keeping the conversation going. I was like, I need to go find out what I've been sending that is keeping this conversation headed in the right direction. So I sent her something, and anyway, and I'm like, I need to copy and paste some stuff. So I just started doing that. But
what I want from you, can I say what I want?
Yeah, you absolutely. I'll write it down.
I would, and I've told you this before, but this is my official ask because this is recorded. That I would love some like screenshots or you could even retype it or whatever, of some kind of like real live back and forth that you might have had with one or two people. Like, what does that actually look like back and forth in these conversations? Because it's like one thing to send an initial message and then like, here's some potential follow-ups. Okay, but none of those fit based on the person's
That's what's so hard.
It's really nice to see, from you you have built leaders, like what does that look like? Some exemplars. Of just some great conversation back and forth, and maybe some that didn't go well.
Totally.
And maybe some that went really well. Sure. And it really is person dependent. And I understand that. And I hope you don't feel like too exposed in these, because I think it would be really good for us to see what that might look like and how a response could potentially look given the situation. And it will help us just prime our brains for future conversations with our potentials.
There's actually a gal right now that I have in the top of my brain, because I'm talking to her in a similar way to this. And it's been a little bit of like, okay, you want it. I'm like, not trying to put her on blast right now, but it's like, she was interested in all these things. Okay, great. I can provide you those things. Would you like to take the next step? Whatever. And a little bit of like, I don't know, or whatever, not today, whatever objection, whatever the things are, waiting till next Friday or kind of thing. I'm like, okay, well, you said you wanted this. I'm here to give you this. This is how you do this. Are you ready to do this? It's like kind of repeating myself a lot. And so now we're all the way to the point where she's like ready to order. We actually went through the whole product conversation and I'm like, sweet. Like we got through the, like, I'm interested in the business. Like we did this conversation and we moved on to like, great, you need a product pack now. And so we got through that. And so I'd be very excited if that moves forward and I can give you a test case.
You could even show us that next time we meet. Like you could
Yeah.
screenshot it and talk through it even. Like that would be totally cool with me. It's not like you have to post it with the whole thing. But
yeah. Like here's
or even I could come over to your house. But I feel like
here.
it would be really great for us all to see just some examples of conversations, or maybe we even bring some to be able to talk through how could we improve these conversations, because I want to always be getting better. Well,
I had one of my recent gals was very interested in the business and we talked about it. She was a customer of mine and she was very engaged with all of my like Plexus content about the opportunity. And I was like, hey, what's the deal here? Thank you for your support, but like, is this something you're interested in? And she was. And then it was a ton of objections and I spoke to them. And then she was like, I need to think about this, pray about this, whatever. She had tried it in the past and whatever. And so far she has like shot me down. Like, I do not want to do this again. Like I've decided this isn't for me or whatever, but it was interesting to address every one of her objections. Like I had to really thoughtfully be like, oh, you've done this before. Oh, this is how our company is different. Oh, whatever. All these things. I was like, wow, that was a lot of objections in one conversation. And she still was like, I thought about it and I don't want to do it. I'm like, that's fine. I totally respect that, but even that, I was like, man, this is good to talk about, that you can address every objection that someone gives you with like a really thoughtful answer. And sometimes they're just like, this is not my jam. I'm like, okay, she loves her product.
I did not want to do this. I did not want to do it for a very, very long time.
Yeah. Oh boy. So yeah, I will do better about like, I need to like screenshot those conversations when I'm having them. Because sometimes I like send a reach out message or whatever, and then either they don't respond or I follow up, or and then later I invite them to something or whatever. Like it's so long that I'm like, I don't remember who that person was. But anyway, since it's already 8:30 my time, super late Nikki's time. I got Tamara Holloway, she's a diamond, her coaching questions that she asked her team. She put them on the Jules page. Did we share these with you guys? I don't know if we posted them anywhere else, but I printed them off. And instead of us talking about them, I would just want to like leave everybody with a question so that we can think about over the next couple weeks or whatever. Hold on. I lost the one I was doing. Oh, here we go. What does my business or my team or my organization, right? Fill in the blank. What does my business need in terms of me growing in my skill set? So what does my business need in terms of me growing in a skill set? So like what area of your business do you feel like you need to just get better at that part? You know what I mean? Like, what is that? I was thinking about once upon a time, sorry, before I get off here, I was really, really good about planning my content. And there was a season of my life when I had phenomenal social media content. That is not this season in my life currently. But I was looking back on some of my memories and I was like, I wrote really good content for like a couple years. I would plan it out and I like had all these good prompts and like, I just was so thoughtful and I don't know, life got insane on me or something. And I started not doing so great. But anyway, that's something I'm committing to because I felt like I can look back and be like, I was really good. Like I did a good job. Good job, Allie, 3 years ago. Come on, get it together. So anyway,
Mine started to not be quite as good when I split my Instagram and Facebook and
Yeah.
niched my Instagram, and it was too much for me to think of both.
Interesting.
I can pinpoint it.
Yeah. Huh. Maybe that was me too. Like I'm spreading myself too thin. I need to just do better and like, navigate what that is. I mean, there's so many things. We could all get better at all the things, right? How about I don't have a fear of talking to people on the phone? How's that for transparency? How about stop having social anxiety and call people on the phone? This is recorded. Anyway. Okay. Does anyone have anything they want to share before we jump off? Thank you for everybody for coming on. This was great. I love this.
Thank you, Ellie.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you were on the book club at Ruby. I loved seeing you on book club.
Yeah.
Lost my thing. Okay. Have a good night, you guys. I am so excited to have these now. It's going to be the first, what did I say? Second and fourth Tuesdays. Thank you. Wow. Okay. Of the month. And I'm going to keep them going for as long as I can. Can we do this every week? I would love that, but I don't know if I can commit to that. So I love seeing all of you and chatting with all of you, but I need to know my boundaries. But anyway, okay. In 2 weeks, I'll see you again. Read the book club book. It's really good. Okay. Good night, everybody.